Moving on to this big fight, Manchester Arena on Saturday. What differences, if any, have you noticed between Carl Frampton in this camp and the previous camps where you've worked with him?
Well, I'll tell you what I have noticed in this one is you know, obviously when Nonito Donaire, for instance, we knew the dangers in that fight. He's a big puncher, and I think that that win for Carl, in hindsight now, is going to look better because obviously I know Ryan Burnett was injured and stuff, but he was still performing really well in there against him. So I think as time goes on, that performance is going to look better. But when you're fighting for a world title, you can see an extra spring in the step, a little bit more focus. You'll see on Friday when he gets on the scales, the shape he's in. He's in phenomenal shape, and you know, the big danger for me in this fight when we set out, you know, when we started to sit down and talk about the game plan and stuff, Josh's best attributes are his work rate and his determination. Those are two things which are hard to contain. They're not impossible, but they're difficult. So my big thing was to Carl, to win this fight, you have to be Carl Frampton, but at a higher gear. You know, one more gear higher, and then you'll win the fight. So the picture I had in my head before the training camp started of where I wanted Carl to be at the end of it, he's surpassed my expectations. He's in unbelievable form. You know, I'd seen him do some special things in each camp, and he slightly improved each time. You know, I never wanted to change him. I only wanted to add to what he already had. And this camp in particular, a few times I've been like, wow, he's in unbelievable shape. He's performing the best I've ever seen him. You know, in the 16 months I've had him, and I believe that if he takes that form into the ring, I think it'll be a career best performance.
A lot of people were expecting either Frampton to fade late or Warrington to come on straight, or some sort of combination of the two. So even most people who are picking Frampton to win are saying he might build up an early lead and then have to hold on to it a little bit down the stretch. Do you think Cole's fitness and conditioning are underrated by some people out there because he's an explosive fighter and often they are kind of burst recover and they need a bit of pacing themselves?
Well, I think sometimes I think a lot of that comes from the Garcia performance, which you've got to understand. We never had any sort of camp there. That was a 6-7 week camp where he'd literally just come into the gym. We had to play with the cards he was dealt. So he was a big, strong guy who just sort of absorbed anything what card came and then just came on late on. So, you know, I can see where the people get that impression. But, you know, what we've done is we've scientifically, we go to the Institute of Performance in Manchester. Everything's documented now. So physically, Carl knows that he's better this time than he was last time. So each camp is improved. His conditioning's is fantastic this time. I have no issues with it. He's ready to put in a performance. And do you know what? I don't feel this fight can be easy. I don't think it can, because Josh Warrington's got a good chin. He's never been down. So it's not. You know, Carl can punch, but I don't feel like he's going to go in there and take him out in a round or two. I feel that Carl will win it clearly, but each round's going to be very competitive. You know, Josh is determined. He's a world champion. He's going to want to defend his belt. So I don't think it can be one of those fights where it's easy. I think it's going to be a great fight for the fans to watch, and I think that Carl will win it clearly, either on points. I think he could even get him out of there late, but I don't think it can ever be a physically easy fight.
And just a final word on the comparison between the two trainers in this fight. You're obviously a former fighter, very unfortunate not to get a world title shot. Whereas in Josh's corner, you've got his dad, which is one kind of intangible, but also the fact that he's never fought. So what do you make of that kind of comparison between the two of you and your experiences?
I don't think you can compare us at all. I think Sean's proven himself, and Josh Warrington's performances in the past and his achievements in his career speak for themselves. So I think you've got to take your hat off to Sean. He knows what he's talking about. Listening to his instructions in between rounds to Josh, he knows what he's talking about. He's obviously got a good boxing IQ. So, you know, it's like some of the best trainers in the world have never had a pair of gloves on, and you know it goes in any sport. Football, there's some football managers who are not good footballers, but they're very good football managers. So
probably not best to mention Mourinho right now, then.
No, not right now, definitely not. So no, listen, I rate Sean. I think he's a very good trainer, and I've got to say, I think Ricky Hatton and Billy Graham, for instance, were great together. Sometimes a certain trainer fits with a certain fighter very well, and I think those two fit great. I think Sean and Josh work really well together. So I've got a lot of respect for him. I've known him for a long time. That Steve Wood manages him, and obviously I'm real
banned from the gym.
Yeah, he's banned from the gym at the minute. So it's close to on. But do you know what? I'd rather it be like this, because let's have it right. Josh Warrington's getting a career best payday for this, and the reason he's getting that is because of Carl Frampton, because Carl's a big name. I'd rather it be that way, because that means that Josh is going to earn a fantastic amount of money, and whoever wins the fight gets to go on and do whatever. But I'd rather us do it all together. It's a business at the end of the day. Even though you're punching each other in the face, it's only like having a game of football with each other. I feel it's the same sort of thing. It's sport, and you know, I did it with Matt Macklin. We're not the seven shades of shit out of each other, and then became closer afterwards because of that. So that's why everyone loves boxing. It's greatest sport in the world.
Brilliant. Well, we thank you and wish you the best of luck, obviously, on Saturday night.
Thank you very much, mate. Cheers.